And just like that, we're as alive as can expect to be for the rest of the day.
Yes, it is amazing that through the miracle of technology, that on a Wednesday morning at about 10 o'clock, 10:10 or so, we wind up getting on the air to spew our thoughts of whatever we need to think of. Good morning, Michael Knight, down in
Good morning, New
Pasadena.
York. Morning, New York, Vinnie, in Seattle, Washington, where you had yourself a little political scene last night. You had your primary.
Yes,
I actually saw Wenatchee on the map of Washington. I thought, now that is very bold. They don't even put Seattle on the map, but they put Wenatchee on the map.
well, that's because that's Trump country, baby. Yes, we had the honor of giving both presidents the the votes they needed to become the certified presidential candidates of their parties, the presumptive nominees.
And everything else in the state went as expected. No big surprises.
Yeah, I don't think there. Well, it was only the presidential on my ballot. I don't know what else
Nobody
was
else was
going
running
on.
for any other office.
Yeah, I didn't see any. There was no other offices on my ballot. No props, no nothing. Just the presidential
Um,
primary, and
we
that's
can't
it.
do that in California. There's always propositions. If there's anything that California is good for, it's a proposition. I
Well,
have a proposition for it. It's just like
well, you know what they say.
A Frank Lesser song. I have a
Most
proposition
truckers,
for it.
most truckers on the back of their trucks have a sticker that says you ain't been propositioned unless you've been propositioned in California.
It's true enough.
Is that a different kind of proposition? Maybe I'm talking about.
No, same thing.
Oh. So yeah, so I voted. The person I voted for didn't do well, but I didn't think she was gonna anyway. But it was just one of those times when I had a protest vote
And you
uh,
used it.
without it fearing
But Nikki Haley get like 13%. If
something like that. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I was actually thinking she would have done better here, because there are so many, you know, because people understand the electric system here, the electoral system here. I don't think they understand the elections, the elective system, the electric system. They understand the election system here, and
we're using the electric system right now to be on the air.
yes, part of it.
You can get all the fancy schmancy you want with the internet, but you can't do anything without Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, if you don't have electricity, you're usually in trouble. So the race is set, and I don't even know how you really even I don't know. You know, it's funny they had this uncommitted thing on the ballot, and I wouldn't vote for that.
They had uncommitted on the ballot.
Well, they had it. They wanted you to write in uncommitted. It wasn't on the ballot. They just wanted.
Is that Bobby uncommitted or his big brother Bruno?
I think it's both of them actually. I think it's the uncommitted bros.
The
Um,
uncommitted family.
Uncommitted had like 10% of the vote up here, so uncommitted might be stronger than Nikki Haley. Um, Although I will say that the ballot drop boxes were pretty busy yesterday. I mean, I drove by one a couple of times, and a couple of times there were people lined up
To drop their ballot.
drop their ballots, which I thought was good because it's, you know, these are easy. This is would be an easy primary to forget about.
None of that anymore, Ben. We're
You
past
know,
those days. We're out of the woods in terms of forgetting about elections. Can't do it. Not anymore.
yeah, I think that. Well, I'm glad to see that people um exercise their right to vote. You only keep what you have by using it, right? And if you don't exercise your right to vote, you can't complain about it.
Oh yeah, you can complain. Those are the ones who do complain. They
Yeah.
complain. They complain that Jesus got them up late. I would
Well,
have
good
voted,
thing
but
down there we had
God
from
was
7
talking
in the
to the
morning
vicar.
till.
Isn't it funny how people have that ballot in their hand and they want to drop it off rather than stick it in the mail? Because, of course, on the day of the election, it's too late to mail it, although I'm sure it would be counted.
Well,
But they want that immediacy of my ballot box, my vote gets counted today.
I think what it is, and I really think this is something that's missing. That's why I don't particularly like the all mail voting. I think you still should have places to go to vote. Is that there's a certain sense of community that happens when people vote. You have to go in, you have to talk to somebody, you have to sign your name, you have to um, go in there and do the actual voting in a booth with it's like it's supposed to be.
But it's that process that keeps people from doing it.
Well, I think you should have both. I think you should have the option of mail in or going down. Now, I know most of the younger people probably want to mail it in, just drop it in a box. But I think there's something to be said for the tactility of going in and signing that book and seeing the old lady at the polling booth and saying hello. And it's a way we mark time. And I'm sad that we don't really have that anymore in this state. I always thought that was a high honor.
But it's that process that prevented a lot of people from actually doing it. They were at work. They had a job, working with a work crew on WAPO out there on the highways of Washington State, fixing roads. They can't get away to go vote. They can't get time off to go vote, even if they have time allotted in their day. It's a pressure cooker that can't be the best thing for the amount of votes that we need, for the importance of the vote, and consequently providing a way for more people to vote accurately and safely is the best way to get the results that we desperately need.
Well, I think I think you could do it both ways. I mean, many states do it both ways. You can still have polling places set up where people can go to vote. But, it's and what I also noticed about the voting drop boxes is that people would bring their drop box, their vote there, their envelope, and they would stand around the drop boxes and talk. You see, that's the thing that I like about the polling place, is that people talk to each other. You talk to somebody while you're waiting online to register your vote. You talk to people at the old ladies at the thing. You got your coffee and your cookies. You got, it was an experience. It was an honor. And you got your little sticker, I voted, or your pin, or whatever they were giving out. Yeah, I just thought it was a badge of that you participated in that day, in that democracy. And it was not to knock the other thing, or drop it in the mailbox. I understand for many people that's convenient, and boom, get rid of it, get it, do your vote, get it in, get it, and it's done. But there is something about that. Excuse me, that communal feeling that I think is nice.
We've had all the primaries up to date show us absolutely no surprises. Super Tuesday, no surprises. Perhaps the one exception would be that Vermont went for Nikki Haley. Because it was the only state that did, that was a bit of a surprise. Remember George McGovern? He won one state I can't remember
Yeah.
what the one state was. It doesn't matter. Pick one. Give him
Oh,
a
didn't
state.
he
It
win
doesn't
like
matter.
South Dakota? Wasn't it? Didn't he win his own state? And that was it.
And that was it.
And then Gore didn't even win his own state.
No comment. You can't win your own state. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's kind of a feeling. That is kind of a prevailing feeling. If you can't win your own state, you're in trouble.
Stop with the speeches and the bumper stickers and the money raising and all that crap.
But yeah, it was a good.
And I know a lot of Republicans are going to miss Nikki Haley. They're going to keep her in their back pocket as a last minute candidate if Donald Trump gets into trouble between now and if his limousine runs into that palm tree, which I've been waiting for.
Did you see who? Did you see who Robert Kennedy named as some of the people that are on his short list for the vice president slot on his ticket?
The penguin from Batman?
Pretty close. His number one person he'd like to get for vice president.
This is his
Aaron
wish
Rodgers.
list. I go for that. I say yes. Give them all the money they need to run forever. I want them on every night. I want them on every night.
Number 2 is Jesse Ventura.
What, he couldn't get another quarterback? He had to get a wrestler?
You get a wrestler. But those are his top 2 picks. I guess he says he's going to reveal it.
No, I see no baseball players on that list. Can't. Where's Jimmy Pearsall? Where the hell are the baseball candidates? Steve Garvey.
Yes, I was saying Steve Garvey is busy.
He's busy. He's really busy.
Aaron Rodgers.
God.
Oh my God.
I did not see that. That's just something about the ego that we're dealing with Mr. Kennedy. He thinks that he can be president. He thinks he can also be the guy who gets to choose who's going to be vice president.
Well, he is polling at what is he, 13%?
So the same as Nikki Haley.
Yeah, about.
And at a substantial savings. He hasn't spent the millions that she has. I imagine the guys who do his television commercials are not thinking about their audience. They're just thinking about themselves. How do I feel about Robert Kennedy? That's what this commercial is going to be. But why am I with him? Why is Aaron Rodgers calling an audible? Omaha, Omaha.
I don't know how they're figuring into it. I mean, and I think there's probably a theory of who will he take the most votes from?
Well, that's a bit of a toss-up, because it won't be 13% by election day. We have a year now of the shakeout, and I don't think Kennedy's going to shake out that well over a year of scrutiny. He's got the right ideas, but he seems, what's the word I'm looking for? Tetched. That's what they call it in Texas. What's wrong with your friend? Oh, he's tetched.
Yeah. Oh, other names on his list include Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, God.
Rand Paul.
That makes sense.
And Andrew Yang. He has also spoken with Mike Rowe, television host of Dirty Jobs. Who'd want to do him? Motivational speaker Tony Robbins.
Oh, God. You're going to walk the fire. You're going to walk on fire. Yeah, let Kennedy do that. Let's start there. You and Tony get the coals ready.
Oh my God. Hard to believe. It is kind of hard. Ventura said he would give it consideration.
2 out of 3 falls.
Rodgers is currently under contract to play for the New York Jets next year. So.
Same thing. Vice President with Kennedy or New York Jets, about the same thing.
Speaking about quarterbacks that are playing someplace next year, did you see who went where?
No.
Russell Wilson.
Where'd he go? Pittsburgh?
The Pittsburgh Steelers this morning.
That's a good move.
Yeah, I think it will be. I didn't think it. Hey, why not? You know what? Why not? It'll make it'll if nothing else, it'll make the Steelers exciting. Then they got the wide receiver from Baltimore, Queen, and signed him to a deal. So they stole one of their best players. So
From a hated rival.
Yeah, it's always nicer when you steal it from somebody you don't like. Russell Wilson.
Well, I predict that Russell Wilson will fall back, roll out, do one of his big come-arounds, and run right into the referee.
And then Patrick Queen going to the Steelers didn't make anybody. Well, you know what I like? What it will do is it will make that rivalry more intense.
Intensify.
Thank you. It'll intensify that rivalry between the two clubs. And anything you can do to intensify that rivalry, I think.
So do you think Russell will go into the Steelers clubhouse, or will he have an apartment nearby where he dresses and prepares for the game with his wife?
No, he's going to go into the Steelers clubhouse. He's going to move to Pittsburgh. He's probably going to move up to Sewickley or out to somewhere out by Monroeville or something like that, where other Steelers live. They'll probably get a house out there.
What's the hip neighborhood downtown? What would you say?
Well, what would I say? Lawrenceville would probably be a pretty cool place to live, but he'll get mobbed there. The trick in Pittsburgh is you don't want to cross the rivers.
Because you
want to be there.
Traffic trouble.
Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass to get across the rivers. So I'm thinking that he'll probably, but a lot of guys do. A lot of guys go to the North Hills, somewhere up there. I hope, and we'll have to ask our friend Ralph Williams when we talk to him about this. I hope that the deal was that, listen, you leave your ego at the door and get in here and you go to work.
We've seen you do your fancy schmancy Seahawk thing. It ain't going to fly here. You're a Stiller. Get in line.
Yeah. Here's my wife. The coach will say, have her meet your wife. And you guys go off and you do what you're going to do. And starting in sometime around July 1st, we will have, and you will come in and you will learn the system and you will do what I tell you to do. I'm the boss here.
What I'm telling you to do is win. That's what you got to do.
Whether it works or it doesn't work, I'm the boss here. And I see a lot of potential in you. And that's the one thing that I think that, there's always a coach that thinks that he can straighten out a player. And if there's any player that probably could be straightened out by any coach, it's probably Russell Wilson and Mike
Mike
Tomlin.
Tomlin.
I think that they're going to have spectacular success in Pittsburgh. If, and this is a big if Russell Wilson wants to play quarterback and not the coach or not the offensive coordinator, if he strives to fit into their system, and if they don't cut him any kind of breaks above what any other person on that team gets. He eats with everybody. He sleeps with everybody. He goes in the locker room with everybody. He gets no special dispensation.
Now, why can't he do that? Why is there a doubt that he'll be able to just be a player?
Well, because there's been a lot of tension with him in his last 2 years here. A lot of people think that here he came back from his hand injury too early. He forced himself back, and that's why he stunk. And then in his last year here, there was a real friction between he and Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll wanted to run things one way, and Russell Wilson wanted to do things another way. And Pete, to his credit, said, no, we're going to do this my way, and if not, you'll be gone. And I think
it came to pass. Yeah, it came to pass, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it's sad because, as I said before they traded, we've talked about this before they traded him. There's nothing like finishing up your career, being in your career in your team's uniform. That rarity today of one player in one uniform for a whole career is an admirable thing.
But fictional.
Well, it happens in some places, but not a lot, not as much as it used to.
It's been a long time since Jim Plunkett played with the Patriots, got signed by the 49ers, had a horrible year, got cut, came back with the Raiders and had his greatest year ever. Been a long time since someone's pulled off a Jim Plunkett. So I wish Russell Wilson the luck that he's going to need to do that. He's got the right team now. He's got the right situation. He's got the right backing.
Yeah, especially they got a Patrick Queen.
And I think the fan base will give him a shot.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think Patrick Queen's going to bring a lot to that team as well. It will be. I mean, Queen was an All-Pro, Pro Bowler, and the problem with the Steelers. One of the problems with the Steelers last year is their defense. They just
weren't stopping them.
Yeah, especially late in the games.
But did they protect their quarterback? That's another problem the offensive have.
I don't think they did it well. I think they're gonna bulk up the. I think that they're gonna bulk up their offensive line or the Seahawks through the draft.
Steelers, you mean?
I think the Steelers are going to. Well, I don't know. I thought that I wasn't enamored of their offensive line, but I think they were actually better. Although they had a lot of I know the Steelers now. I'm trying to keep my compartmentalize my thinking. The Steelers had a lot of injuries last year. I mean, Kenny Pickett went down, obviously. A number of their offensive guys went down. It was kind of hard. And I think that the Steelers, for Russell Wilson, they're I don't know that their system is easy to pick up. Now, what will they do to the Steelers system? What will the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh do to the Steelers system to make it accommodate Russell Wilson? Does he still have the legs? Russell Wilson is a different type of quarterback than they've seen in Pittsburgh in a few years.
Since Slash.
Yeah, Ben was like that in a way, but
Ben was not a rollout quarterback.
yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't do it as well or as much as Russell Wilson. Wilson's playing like a backyard game out there,
Yeah.
and I do think that um that 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 type of football is the type of football that people in Pittsburgh are going to want to see. I think they're going to love that type of football.
There's
You
a lot of
know,
excitement that goes along with it.
yeah, you don't know. People aren't going to fall asleep in their seats.
No.
They're going to see a lot of 9-7 games in Pittsburgh. You know,
Well,
again,
I'll say that Russell Wilson's attitude will always rub me the wrong way, but I hope that he finds a home there.
I just always thought that people here didn't appreciate Russell Wilson for what he was. And I also think that you're gonna have to win a lot of people over in Pittsburgh. He's gonna have to win people over in Pittsburgh. The first people he's gonna have to win over are his locker room.
Yeah, you're right.
And so you can't do a lot of the crap that you tried to do in Denver and was a disaster for you.
One of
And
the
you have
one of
to
the one of
realize
the one of the NFL's greatest disasters.
whatever you do, Mike Tomlin is going to own the last word. You're not going to go to your offensive coordinator. You're not going to go to the boss of the team. You're not going to go to this guy. You're not going to go to that. You may, but it's only going to get you in Dutch.
Yep.
And if you're smart, you'll take a guy like Kenny Pickett under your wing and you show him some tricks. And in a year or two, maybe he's ready. He probably shouldn't take that long, but maybe he is ready. And then, in a year or two, Russell Wilson walks off into the wind. Maybe he gets himself another, at least a couple of more playoff appearances.
That's if Kenny Pickett makes the cut. They're going to have to. They got too many quarterbacks right now.
Well, I think that Kenny Pickett will make the cut. I think they got rid of. I think
Rudolph.
Rudolph, yes, Rudolph, the redhead quarterback. I think he. I'm not sure if he has declared himself a free. There's something. I read something that says he wasn't coming back to the team, so he's going to go out and try to make his money. That's good. So I think the Steelers, big improvements for the Steelers over the last couple of days. Now we're going to see what the Seahawks do, and they have so many holes they need to fill up that they may not get there.
You can't get there from here.
Well, you have to try to figure out what exactly you need to do, which they are. And the Seahawks, I think, are primarily going to do what they did in the draft, which is get young talent that they can hold on to for a while, and it's going to help them. They already signed an offensive lineman, Nick Harris, from the Bengals. I believe he was from the Bengals.
What does he play?
Offensive line.
Inside or outside?
I think he is an inside. He played here at Washington. Yeah, I think he's an inside linebacker. So Pharaoh Brown from the New England Patriots has agreed to a contract. So he's coming here. He's coming here on a 1 year deal. DJ Dallas is gone. He's going to the Cardinals. One of my favorite players is gone for the Seahawks. Will Disley and Colby Parkinson both are gone. So hopefully that Pharaoh Brown from the New England Patriots will help out as a tight end.
It's fun to see personnel decisions being made by new front offices at the Giants too, mixing baseball with football. But people who were part of the team last year, like Helio Ramos, J.D. Davis, one's gone, one's sent to minor league camp already. They're making quicker decisions on these guys. The Giants are in a position where there was like a handful of middle infielders and outfielders that could hit 220 and were on the team year after year. Not anymore. My bumper sticker is coming true. If you can't hit the ball, I will find someone who will. What's your name?
That's usually the way it's supposed to go, right? Interesting move the Giants are making. You know, Tommy DeVito was the big was the Jersey boy.
Yeah, they loved him. Remember, he was doing pizza parlors.
Well, it seems that maybe he's not as good as anybody thought he was, because it looks like the Seahawks backup quarterback, Drew Lock, is going to sign with the Giants.
Whoa. Which puts you in a position of losing your seasoned backup.
Well, they better hope that so that means they either got to draft a backup, or, and I'm not a big fan of drafting quarterbacks, to be honest with you, for immediate use. I mean, I think a quarterback, you draft them and you park them there and you let them watch somebody that knows what they're doing. Every time we've drafted a quarterback here and just stuck them out on the field, it's been nothing but disaster.
Same thing with the Chicago Bears, who have done it year after year after year.
I mean, all I need to do is mention the name Rick Meyer or Dan McGuire.
Dan McGuire at least didn't throw behind the quarterback. I mean, the receivers, I should say. Meyer was consistently.
Well, he thought they were going to turn.
He went the wrong way, I think.
He thought they were going to turn. So this to me is much more fun than the draft. I'm not a big draft fan. So, well, you know, with Fant staying on, you know, for the tight end core, and the new guy coming in the former New Englander Pharaoh Brown, maybe that signals a bit more of a return to the tight ends. I mean, it seemed like they forgot that they had tight ends on this team at one point last year.
Sometimes they forgot they had receivers at all.
You know, it's all a mystery. We don't know yet what this new coach, Mike McDonald, is going to run. We don't know what his, what he and his offensive coordinator. I mean, the whole thing is new. The first time you're going to see it is, you'll see glimpses of it in training camp, and you'll see in some of the exhibition games, but you don't know yet.
I want to know if Pete Carroll gave up his office.
Probably begrudgingly.
You can't not be the coach and still be in the coach's office.
Yeah, I'm sure that that they've worked something out there where they're going to move him to another. Even if he stays around. I mean, I got to imagine how uncomfortable that's going to be for Pete Carroll to be around when Mike McDonald and his assistants are trying to move guys in a different direction. Now, I don't know. Some new coaches like to have the old guy around. I don't know, by saying the old guy, I don't mean old. He's old, but
The
old that he's
previous, yeah, the
previous.
previous
Yeah.
guy.
Some guys like to have the previous coach around. Um, it gives them a confident feeling, and if they're on the same page, that's even better.
But in
But
the modern NFL, your team changes 20-30% every year anyhow. So the old guy doesn't really have the influence that he might have if it was actually the same team, which it never is.
yeah, I just it's going to be real interesting for the Seahawks. It's going to be fun to watch. I mean, they're going to go with Geno. Geno still got a year left on his contract, and I'm just wondering if something really good came along that they could move for, that they wouldn't move to get Geno out. Nobody. I, excuse me. I don't think there's a big loyalty around for Geno because
It's
it's
not
all
not considered a valuable element of the team yet.
right. Well, I mean, I think he is, but they can't. They're going to have to teach him how to finish a game. I mean, really, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to teach him how to finish a game, how to get tough in the last 2 minutes and drive his team down the field and complete it and finish it. I mean, this team is horrible at yards after catch. This team is, they got to do something better than they were doing. And I'm not astute to know exactly what it is that they need to do better, but I would have to say that you either run it better, which means that you build up your offensive line to open up some gaps for you.
Run a good new young running back. You can draft for running backs.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's certain positions that you can draft, or you get you just like you can draft a cornerback, you can draft a good running back. It's just that what'll be there in the draft will they get, and then you'll see. So, but I'm happy with the free agent signing so far. Um, for the Seahawks, I'm sad to see.
But as a past man who covered the Steelers, you're ambivalent about what Russell Wilson's going to be able to do. It sounds like.
I just don't know what you're going to get, Michael. I don't know what Russell Wilson is going to show up. Is it the Russell Wilson that's lost a step and has to adjust his game now because he can't tuck the ball under his arm and run like he used to? Are they gonna? Is it the Russell Wilson who is going to have so many things going on outside of football that it's going to distract from him? Is either Russell Wilson is going to go into Pittsburgh and say, "Oh, I'm here. I always wanted to be here. This is a great place. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have my fashion shows. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that," and they're going to go.
Just show me.
Pittsburgh is a different animal
Don't talk about it. Just show me.
than Denver or Seattle. Yeah, you're gonna have to go out there and you're gonna have to show. You're gonna have to show them you can do just as good for them as you did for Seattle. And if he can do that, if he shows that hustle on the field and he shows that ability to come out of the pocket like he used to be able to and run that ball, and if he has accurate passing downfield, to a new quarterback, to a new to wide receivers, and if you know if his ego subverts a little bit, and I think Mike Tomlin will be able to do that because Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, and I don't know who the quarterbacks coach is there now, but I know Arthur Smith is a guy that's been around a while. And certainly you have more than enough veteran people around there that can help Gino find his groove.
It could be exciting. It could be exciting to watch.
I think it's going to be exciting to watch no matter what. I don't, because I'm not as concerned about the wins and the losses with Steelers as I am about the Seahawks. I just wonder who the Jets are going to get the quarterback after Aaron Rodgers runs off and becomes Robert Kennedy Jr.'s vice presidential candidate.
He's going to have to learn to run the Senate because he's going to be the chair of the presiding over the Senate. But on weekends, he will have Sundays free for the most part.
Right. Don't call any special sessions on Sunday.
No.
Because I just can't be here. Wow.
And then there's the mumps epidemic that we're going to have to deal with.
The what? Excuse me.
The mumps epidemic, mumps, measles, and rubella will be going crazy.
Where's that coming?
It'll be nationwide because Kennedy will forbid the use of vaccines.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think he's got a prayer. I think the only thing he's going to do is he's going to siphon off votes from Biden,
and probably some from Trump too.
Some from Trump, yeah, but siphon off votes from Biden.
Is he going to be on the ballot in every state?
I don't think so. Now, I don't know. Not yet. He's not, but
No.
he's got a fair amount of states.
Well, Vinnie, enjoy your drink. Feel better tomorrow, and we'll adjourn today and meet on a wacky Wednesday, or whatever today is.
No, today's Wednesday. We're going to meet on a wacky Friday.
So it's a very wacky Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is. I thought it was a morose Monday.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too good today, so I'm going to crawl back into bed. Actually,
that's a good spot.
Pull the covers up over my head, and
now, if you want to get better, don't watch the news. If you don't give a damn, watch the news.
I'm going to watch cartoons.
Warner Brothers or Fleischer?
Warner Brothers, probably.
All right. What a maroon. I hope there's lots of Daffy Duck for you.
All right, Mikey. I'll see you on Friday if the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise.
Want a wine? See you, Ben.
Peace, love, and Manischewitz, baby. All right. Bye-bye.